Shalom, brothers and sisters. Wars, rumors of wars, and there's plenty of that to go around, and we could focus and talk just on certain parts of the world or countries, and that in itself would keep this channel busy for a very long time. But let's focus on Russia for a second. Two things that have popped up in the last few days. Number one, Russia updates their nuclear doctrine. They've been threatening to do this for a while, and apparently now they've done this. Under the new policy, Russia reserves the right to use nuclear weapons if it is attacked by a massive airstrike via drones, missiles, aircraft, etc., and it believes its sovereignty is threatened. Furthermore, such an attack on Russia's by a non-nuclear power with the aid of a nuclear power, so Ukraine using US, UK, or French or German weapons and guidance systems, will be seen as an attack by a nuclear power and could merit a nuclear response. Russian ally Belarus is now also included in the new policy, ostensibly to protect them from an attack by NATO or Ukraine. So very much ease the rules around what we consider a threat and when we can use nuclear weapons. So we find out that they were using French weapons, for example, and we nuke Paris in retaliation. That is acceptable under the new doctrine. Interesting. It really broadens the abilities for this thing to kick off really, really fast. Then the next article says Putin's best ally brandishes nuclear threat. Following Russia's presentation of its new nuclear doctrine, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko warned that Moscow would resort to nuclear weapons if NATO attacked the territory of the former Soviet Republic. As soon as they attack us, that is NATO, the Americans and the Poles. Now, interesting that he's again focusing on Poland and the Polish. And that is an area that a lot of people think they might attack next. And Lukashenko is mentioning them by name, right? That would lead to nuclear exchange. Russia, he says, will come to our aid. He stressed aggression against Belarus would mean World War III, and he added that the new doctrine confirmed this. The inclusion of Belarus, Mr. Putin's main ally in his military campaign in Ukraine, is one of the many new features of the nuclear doctrine announced by the Russian leader on Wednesday. Right? Everything is heating up like never before. So now we have this, an easing of the rules to make it easier to use nuclear weapons, an inclusion of Belarus and Lukashenko in that umbrella of options to use nuclear weapons, and using of weapons from nuclear powers, allowance for them to strike back at that power directly with nuclear weapons. Do you see how this thing has spiraled out of control? And then you have North Korea that's given the authority more than a year ago already to the troops on the ground to decide if they need to use nuclear weapons or not. That is how easy their policy is. And all that's holding that from kicking off is Kim listening to his parents, Putin and Xi, and waiting on the right opportune moment to kick off a worldwide conflict. Again, not anything we need to be concerned about. We are not destined for wrath at all. We are destined to be with the King of Glory. In the meantime, however, it does inspire us to share Jesus with people more often and even outside of our comfort zones everywhere that we can. God bless. Keep looking up. It's getting crazy out there.